Hey YouTube, this is going to be a different type of video. This video is going to be on this bike. So we bought a electric bike that we're going to go test out, and I'm going to unbox it, put it together, and show it to you, try to do a little review of the bike itself. And our channel is normally on our Jeep and camping and things about our life, so this is obviously going to fit into with a camping aspect. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We are trying to push our sub count up. And then if you like the video, you know, thumbs up. And feel free to put any kind of comments below on any questions that you might have related to anything, the bike, Jeeps, like camping, anything. I will type back to you the best I can, as quick as I can. Less talking and onward with unboxing and the review of the bike.
Hey, so the first part of this is going to be an unboxing and a assembly, and we're going to fast forward through a lot of the unboxing just so it doesn't take as long. The box is approximately the size of the tailgate in width, and you saw it's about 2 tailgates of the Jeep in length when you get it, and it seems very well packed. This is what the packaging looks like on the inside of the bike, and we will go through and take the lid off and then talk about it a little bit.
Hey, so this is how the bike comes. It looks partially assembled, like you've probably seen in other videos. Lots of little zip ties and packing material. It looks pretty well secured. And let's take it out and see what we've put together. From my understanding, the instructions are pretty awful.
I think they used an entire package of zip ties. There were so many zip ties on this thing, like it was ridiculous. But they must have been really concerned with things moving, and fortunately nothing was scratched and everything looked really well packaged. I was really surprised. So basically I get it down, and then I'm going to do a real quick little basic assembly, which was a little bit of a mistake of mine, and I did not really follow any kind of instructions, if you didn't notice. I just basically wanted to get the wheels on it so it could stand up, and I rushed it a little bit. You're going to see where I have to take the wheels off to actually reassemble it. These are the tools that were included, and the battery did seem like it was very much charged when we got it, and the one thing that was kind of annoying is the horn kept honking when I was doing it, because I kept turning it over and stuff, and I only used 2 of those tools, even though they gave me all those tools. So I went through and I ended up having to take the wheels off to get the fenders on, but you know, it does look a little bit more like a bike now, and I think that a lot of people will put the bike upside down when they assemble bikes, or they'll have some kind of stand or something like you see in bike shops. But it was not too terribly hard to assemble in my driveway, and it went together pretty quickly. I want to say maybe it took an hour or less to fully assemble. And so I'll give you a quick rundown of what I did to actually assemble it, even though you kind of watched me do it. And this was not following any instructions.
Hey YouTube, so I think I finished assembling it. We're going to find out shortly. But anyway, what did I do exactly? It was actually pretty easy to put together. When I took it out of the box, I basically had to put this, the handlebars, like in this little bar here, there's a little like clasp here. I put the rest of the handlebar in this lower thing, and it folds up. There's a clasp there. Then once I had it out of the box, there is a fender here, and it takes a couple Allen wrenches that they provide you, and then the light, you make sure that you have it flipped the right way, 1 Allen wrench there. Then the wheel goes on with 1 bolt on each side, and it's all like pre-included, and it's pretty obvious which way it goes. This little metal wheel has to go in here. This is like the brake, the disc brakes. Then the pedals, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out which one was a left and which one was a right, because it said that they were marked on there. But when I put the pedals on, believe it or not, they're actually threaded in the opposite direction. So essentially they only go in one way. They're kind of dummy proofed. That way, you know, if you're pedaling, they don't like come undone. So that looks like about all we had to do to get it working. And all that's really left is there's some keys. There's a charger, obviously needs to get charged up. There's these little plastic things. I think these were for shipping probably. I'm not really sure what these are for. And there was a bunch of tools that they gave me, kind of an overwhelming number of tools. So far I only had to use 1 Allen wrench and 1 of these open end wrenches, and that's it. And this is my knife. The knife was not included. And that's everything. So let's give it a little spin and see if it's safe, and then we'll try it out a little bit, maybe shoot some footage with it, and then let you know.
So here's a comparison between the new electric bike and my full-size Cannondale, and you can see that the seats are about the same height where I positioned them at. The head and handlebars are about the same height. The main difference is in length and also where the pedals are sort of like in relationship to the seat. This is the first time taking your bike out, and I am 6 feet, just for reference, in height, so I'm pretty tall. And the very first thing that you'll notice is that I'm fiddling around with the buttons. There's basically 4 different power modes, and I was trying to figure out like the right one. And then the next thing that you're about to notice is that the seat is not positioned right, and I stopped to adjust the seat. So if you look at my knees, basically when your legs are all the way down on the pedal, I believe your knees are supposed to be perfectly straight, which means that when you're sitting on the seat, you should not be able to touch the ground. You should have to get off the seat or lean the bike over, is my understanding. So I'm going to adjust the seat real quick and then continue trying to figure out the bike. And the seat goes really, really, really incredibly high. I had to adjust the seat way higher than I was expecting. So it's a folding bike, and it almost feels like a girl's bike because the bar in the front is so low compared to the Cannondale that I'm used to riding. So anyway, the power modes or whatever. So my preference is to have it with all the lights turned off, like the 3 different bubbles. And it's like the level of pedal assistance, I guess. So there's low, medium, high on pedal assistance. And what that is when you pedal the bike, how much do you want it to help? And my favorite so far is just, please don't help me automatically. Like, I don't need any help. I just want to ride the bike. So you're like, why would you get an e-bike and then want no pedal assistance? Well, if you have it in no pedal assistance, it makes it more like a motorcycle. So you can ride it around like a bike, or there's a throttle on my right hand, and you saw me just twist it a little bit. When you twist the throttle, then it just kind of propels you forward like a motorcycle. When you have it in one of the 3 pedal assist modes, like in low, medium, or high, it just takes off on its own. So you turn the pedal, like, say, one time around, and if it's in low, it's almost like it went around like one more time than you were expecting. And if you have it in high, then like it kind of starts to feel like you're a little bit out of control with a bike. The other thing I had to get used to is the handlebars themselves. They're a lot narrower than the Cannondale, which is obviously a mountain bike, and I'm sort of used to having the gigantic handlebars of the Cannondale mountain bike. I would probably have to guess maybe they're the same width as, say, a road bike, like a 10-speed road bike in comparison. I do know that the indicator is working, however, because on another one of the rides that we did with me and Kimberly, and she rode it half the time, and then I ended up riding it the other half the time to try it out. We did see the bubble finally go down from full charge to the 3/4 charge, but I don't really have any kind of accurate way to tell you how quickly it's going to go down. It just seems like the battery lasts well longer than I want to ride the bike, and probably my butt would really hurt, like if I tried to ride it long enough to actually kill the battery. But with that said, I'm talking about like bike rides that are like a couple hours long, not like all day. So for me, it works really well. The other thing I noticed is on the Cannondale, I have a tendency of downshifting and upshifting all the time, depending on how steep the hill is, to make it so it's not too terrible on my knees, and still like it hurts my knees. I'm getting, I guess, older or whatever. I can tell you that on this bike, my knees hurt a lot less riding it. And what I kind of think is happening is when I ride the e-bike, when you get on like kind of a hill, instead of like downshifting, you just pull the throttle a little bit and get a little pedal assistance. So basically what that does is it makes it so it's a little bit easier to get up and down the hills. And if you get to a hill where you think you're going to hop off and have to walk your bike or something because it's too steep, the nice thing about this is you just pull on the throttle and it gets you over the little kind of hard spot, and then you can keep on going. So it seems like it takes like pretty much all the challenge out of riding a bike. And like I said, it also seems like it's a lot easier on the knees. I was kind of surprised there was nowhere to put a water bottle holder. Usually, like, you have the little bolts that you take out and you can put a little water bottle holder. in the bike. Like they didn't have that. But what they did have is they had a little flat area behind the seat where you could, kind of put things. So we ended up basically using a bungee cord and bungee cording two like Deer Park water bottles there. I'm sure that there's a appropriately sized bag to put there. But we couldn't figure out what it would be. We didn't have it in our house. Probably we need to go to a bike shop or something and go figure out what's the correct one to put there, or saddlebags or whatever we decide to go with. And it does have a light on the front, a white light. On the back, the red thing is just a reflector. It's not actually a light. But the seat that she orders has a light built into it. Um, so then, at least it has like a red light in back and a white light in front. However, I do not know how much we're actually going to ride it at night, to tell you the truth. The other thing I noticed, and it could just be me, is I'm not used to riding with a kickstand, like as silly as that sounds. I don't think I've owned a bike that has had a kickstand in over 10 years. And I found that my left hand foot, or left foot, I guess, kept kind of touching the kickstand. Because I wasn't used to having a kickstand there, and it could just be the way that I ride a bike, or maybe just that the kickstand was kind of getting in my way. Kimberly did not indicate that she had that issue with the kickstand, but for me, I mean, it's easy to take the kickstand off if you want to get rid of it, but for me, it just I wasn't used to it. I thought it was going to be a really kind of difficult bike to ride, because it's a commuter bike, like the shape wise, but it was not as difficult as I was thinking it was going to be. It obviously, was not the bike that I was used to riding. But, since it had a little bit of power assistance, that power assistance seemed like it really helped out. And so you can see here, there's the little kind of storage thing on the back, like I was telling you about. So anyway, hopefully this has helped you out with, thoughts on the bike and everything like that. To me, it seems like a really great deal, and it seems like a convenience where, we can fold it up and put it in the back of the Gladiator, put it in the back of the RV or whatever we want. And obviously you saw it like all completely open, but it still has 20-inch wheels, which means it'd have to sit sideways in the back of the bed. You wouldn't want to sit it up straight up because then the tonneau cover wouldn't close. So thank you, and hopefully this little review helps out.